are really important launch parties are really important, as we've just had illustrated by that testimonial. And I encourage you to never walk away from the model. Too many people get caught up in opportunity meetings where there's a speaker and a presenter and all this kind of stuff. The problem with all that is it doesn't make it doable for most people. If you stick to the home presentation, you're always illustrating to all your guests that any of you could do this. If your parties, your opportunity meetings, though, are really based upon someone being a public speaker, you're communicating to 98% of the population, you can't do this because 98% of the population is scared to death of speaking in public. And so teams that get kind of fixated with the opportunity meeting, they can put a lot of people in the room, but it doesn't necessarily translate into a lot of enrollments because the opportunity meeting isn't as efficient an enrolling tool as the launch party is. And we see in regions of the world where they do get kind of addicted to the opportunity meeting, the net effect is an overall reduction in business growth. And if you don't believe me, read the book, My First Year in Network Marketing by Mark Yarnell, one of the earliest Bibles about network marketing out there. And he specifically teaches on this one subject of never letting go of the launch party model if you want to stay in business building momentum. Does that make sense to everyone?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, our launch parties should be so simple that they teach another lesson. And that lesson simply is, heck, I could do that. If they don't teach that lesson, it isn't a good launch party. Launch parties should make the business seem very, very simple. And if they don't show that, you need to dumb them down. And we teach 6 different types of launch parties. We'll do one this week called the Inspirational Launch Party that is very, very simple. And someone could join this week and take part in an inspirational launch party next week. There is no ramping up time. You don't need to cram for a test in order to do one. Now, these parties are not highly informational. We don't download a lot of data to our guests. We actually only try to inspire them with wonderful stories of success. And we found that if you keep striking the emotional chord, more people will join immediately than if you only keep pounding more information into them. Can you see how that could be true?
Definitely.
Yes.
So our inspirational launch parties to start with are shorter than you think. We would love if you could get people taste testing the product by the 36-minute mark of the hour. Now, the reason is we've been able to prove that the shorter launch party actually leads to more on-site enrollments. And we've been able to prove it by actually taking people who've been building the business for years, cutting their launch party strategy into a third of its original size, and in doing so, quadrupling their on-site enrollments. It really, really works to stop talking. Now, the reason it works is quite simple. If you finish your presentation and have them taste testing at the 35-minute mark, people still think hour to hour, and they think, wow, she's left us time to taste this stuff, and if it's any good, why don't we just join and go home? Where if you talk for 15 minutes longer, they think, oh, so you didn't leave us time to both taste test the stuff and join. I guess we're supposed to try it, go home and think about it, and then get back to you. The shorter party illustrates, no, we left time right within the party format for you to join immediately. Can you see how that could be true?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And they're also a lot more fun if they don't go on eternally.
I like the fact that I just don't even have to be informational. I like that idea. Like just.
Oh yeah, we actually don't share any information.
Yeah, like I don't have to know everything to be able to have a lunch party. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't want you to know everything. And if you do know everything, we'd like you to forget it all, please.
So do you do any displays then or no?
Yeah, we do. We really encourage, with the taste testing, if you're going to display what a pack looks like, and I know this sounds ostentatious, just 2 descriptions, though. If you show people what's in a business builder's pack and a display, and lay it out, they'll be amazed at how much product there is. And then if you'll take the president's pack, but divide it into the 3 systems, meals, snacks, and mineral and vitamin support, then they understand what all 4 packs look like only by looking at 2 displays. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because remember, we're wanting to show them that the optimum is all 3 systems, and everything below that is a compromise. Someone had a question there?
Oh, I was just saying that the 3 divisions were meals, snacks, and vitamins.
Mineral and vitamin support, our Ages, Essentials, and Product B package.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So then the Pace Setter pack is just meals and snacks, and then the 30 days just meals.
Yeah. Okay.
Remember, we're wanting to give that really dumbed down view of how simple this process is, and it really helps them when we use that simpler approach. So the party's 35 minutes long. Well, no, the presentation's 35 minutes long. And it starts off with 2 back-to-back product testimonials. Now, these product testimonials are highly inspirational, not informational. So they're based solely on 3 specific verbs. I felt, I love, and I am. I felt, I love, and I am. So you guys tell me, how did you feel before you started enjoying superfoods?
Tired, sluggish.
Fat and depressed.
Yeah, you can feel, well, we can't use the word depressed because that's a clinical term, but we could say discouraged or overwhelmed, couldn't we?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of the reasons why we focus on the feelings, is that feelings by themselves can't be non-compliant, right? It's just a feeling. Where discouraged, depressed is a feeling, but you can also translate it sideways and turn it into a clinical disease, and we can't talk about things that way because we don't diagnose diseases, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds nitpicky, but one of the reasons why we do the feelings is because we want to make sure that we stay within the bounds and we stay inspirational. What's another way you might feel?
Before the use of the products?
Before you ever use the products, how could you feel?
Uncomfortable in my own skin.
Yeah.
What I always
Yeah. Sounds like I'm celebrating you were uncomfortable. I'm not trying to say it that way. Yay, you were depressed. Good for you. No, I'm not saying that. Now, the reason we stick with feelings is really quite simple. Let's say Bubba comes to the front of the room and he says, well, before isogenics, I was 60 pounds overweight. I was a type 2 diabetic, and I had gout in my big toe. Cool story, Bubba, but the skinny chick in the front row just stopped listening because she thought gout disappeared in the Middle Ages. Never heard anybody having gout. And she sure isn't 60 pounds overweight. So why on earth would I listen to you? I'm just going to check the likes on my latest Facebook post. You lost the room. Or Bubba could talk about the same thing with feelings. I was really discouraged and overwhelmed with my relationship with food. What to eat, when to eat, how often to eat, how much to eat. I didn't know. And because of that, I would have spikes and valleys in my energy and in my health. But Isogenics gave me that brand new relationship with food. Well, that's Bubba with gout in his big toe and the skinny chick in the front row. Both of them. The feelings make sure we're never excluding any of our audience with our examples. Can you see how that can be true?
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, there's somebody at my door. Be right back.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's why the highly exceptional product testimonial, though very tantalus, is oftentimes exclusionary because it doesn't really vibrate with most of the people in the room.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why we want to stay with feelings so no one feels like they feel excluded from the testimonial.
I felt
So
that
let's
way.
move on.
I went to
Sorry,
a
go ahead.
presentation. I was just going to make a comment. I went to a presentation this past weekend, and I felt that way. I felt like the person was completely unrelatable and from a different planet to me.
Well, the thing is everything exceptional that you share, if it's highly exceptional, all your manufacturing is an excuse for the guest as to why it doesn't apply to them. Don't be weird. Be normal. I know it's interesting to have a titillating testimonial, but if it's too titillating, you actually lose your room.
Makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I was at a launch party, and I was one of the speakers at this launch party. And the gal before me said, well, it all began when I was involved in the underground sex movement in Toronto.
Wow.
And I'm the only man in the room. And I'm going, are you kidding me? What does this have to do with Isogenics? And she went on for 20 minutes about that subject.
How?
And in the end, her final words were, so when I finally started using Isogenics, I was eating so clean already, I honestly didn't have a product experience. We listened to 20 minutes of R-rated material for nothing. Let's stick to the main verbs. I felt, I love, I am. And let's stay to the subject. We don't need to hear your story. Now, we're going to play a little game. I want you to pick one product that you love more than any other of the products in the catalog. Tell me what product do you love it in, and how does it fit into your life? Now, not like, love. Now, also, as soon as one of you picks that product is off the table for everyone else. They have to pick another product. So, who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Because
So, are you going to pick? Are you going to pick Ionics?
Yes.
Yeah. Now everybody in the call hates you. Congratulations.
They all do. I was going to pick it anyways. It's all good.
Okay. Okay. So you go ahead and tell me why you love Ionics.
Ionics just really helps me keep focused. It helps with my mental clarity and my stress. And I couldn't survive without it.
Now, are you a first thing in the morning kind of gal, or when do you take your Ionics?
I'm an Ionics about 1.5 ounces in the morning and then some in the evening.
Excellent. Now, do you drink it hot like a tea in the evening to go to sleep?
Oh, no, I'm straight shot.
Straight shooting. Okay. Excellent. Now, notice how I wanted you to paint a picture for what the experience looks like when and all that. Because
okay.
Remember, we're not doing a science project here. We're describing our favorite restaurant.
Okay.
And I know it's a switch because we aren't used to talking about Isogenics this way. We tend to talk like it's a biology class. but we want to talk about it like it's our favorite steak restaurant.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Totally.
Yes.
So Ionix is off the table, and all of you don't like her. So pick something else while you hate her from your heart. Go ahead.
My favorite product is the eShot.
Really?
Yes.
When does that fit into your life?
I use it first thing in the morning. I work out at 5:30 a.m. So I will take a shot right before I leave the door. So it'll give me the energy to get through my AM workout and help me push through my day.
5:30 in the morning. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
You are a dedicated person.
I am.
Or possibly committed person, and you need to be
Or
committed because
crazy.
you're getting up at 5:30 in the morning going to a gym. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I might need a little jolt of cocaine in order to pull that off. So I don't know if the e-shot would actually do it for
Well,
me.
the eShot, yeah, the eShot does it for me.
Nice. Now, do you ever try, like if I'm driving a long distance, I'll put an e-shot in a bottle of water and just sip the bottle of water. And that's good for like 6 to 8 hours of driving. Ever done that?
Yes, I've done it with, you know how they make the rocket fuel with the eShot and Ionix and Cleanse and greens and fruit. It's basically a little bit of everything, but I've dumped a whole eShot in it before and just sip on it throughout the day if I'm at work, and that really helps me get through my day.
It's a great option, isn't it?
It is. Yeah, I like it
Excellent.
instead of having coffee in the morning before I work out. No one wants to drink coffee before they work out.
I don't actually want to like leave my pajamas until I have coffee, so I literally walk outside, let the dogs head to pee, walk in, and make the coffee, and that's the first thing I do in the morning is have a cup of coffee. That's necessary. Because I'm not sure my heart's actually beating until that happens.
Mm-hmm.
I may just be living off of reflexive energy up until that point. Excellent. So eShots and Ionix are off the table. Somebody pick something else.
Go ahead, Becky.
Yeah, I was gonna say I've got some guys working on my door, so maybe I should do this now. Actually, I would say for me, the meal replacement bars are one of my favorite things, and that is because I have, unlike a lot of people, I have a really busy lifestyle. I have 4 kids and a business and a home to take care of, and I'm moving and grooving a lot, and these are really convenient if I can't get a shake or, I'm not doing a fork and knife meal.
Absolutely. That meal replacement bar really saves you about half hour to an hour of meal prep and eating it. You could just do it as you go.
Yeah, I'm a great multitasker, driving and eating my meal replacement bar.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's your favorite flavor?
Oh, I am like such an obsessed person with like Reese's peanut butter cups. I had to, give those up a long time ago. So the peanut butter, the chocolate crunch, I've been known to go out in a blizzard and get a Reese's peanut butter cup over the years. So.
So this solves that problem.
Yeah, I'm a chocolate person, but I have to say I'm starting to really love the lemon crunch, the passion lemon, the lemon ones. I always get their name.
Really?
Yeah, those are pretty good. I mean, they're completely opposite of a chocolate, but those taste pretty good too.
You know what? They used to be my favorite, but then my son and we drove in Africa in an unair-conditioned Toyota Corolla to go to this game reserve, and we didn't stop for breakfast. We just said, we'll have some bars. Well, it turned into like a 5-hour drive before we ever got anything else to eat. And eating lemon bars in a hot car in Africa, it's not a good idea. It really isn't.
No doubt.
Because by like the second hour, we're starting to burp the lemon bars we're eating, and we're in a hot Corolla, and we're both really big men, so it's just wall-to-wall Smith right across the front of the car. Like my arm's out the window and my shoulder's touching his shoulder and his shoulder's out the window because we're that big. I'm a 46 tall, he's a 52 tall, and we're in a Corolla. And it was just a little too confined to quarters with a little too much heat and a little too much lemon. So if I even today say to Corb, want a lemon bar, he makes the face like he's just throw up in his mouth. It's just too much. So have lemon bars, but don't eat them in Africa. That's my only
Okay,
guide.
I'll write that down.
Don't eat in Africa unless car is air conditioned and Corbin and Kevin aren't in car with you. These are important life lessons, folks. I hope you're writing this all down.
I got that one.
Good. Is anybody else left who hasn't said their love affair with food?
Yes. My favorite product is the Isopro.
Nice. Chocolate or vanilla?
Both. I love them both. I was thrilled when they came out with the chocolate and we had an option, but I love them both. I put them in my shake, my morning and lunchtime shake every day. I use it after a workout. I just love it. It keeps me, if I need a snack, sometimes I'll just have a serving of that instead of something else. Just
now, what does a serving of Isopro look like? How do you take a serving of Isopro?
Well, you just one scoop and some water and maybe some ice or not, just depending on what.
And just drink it down that way, just with a scoop of water and some ice and shake it up and you're off to this.
Yeah. Yep.
Nice.
It's kind of like maybe the bedtime belly buster, which I've used it for that too. I'm not real consistent on that, but kind of like that without the greens and the fruits.
Nice. You guys have made me hungry. Now I'm making a shake. Goodness, my stomach just started to growl because you started talking about this stuff. Goodness. Now, what do you think happens when we talk about our isogenics like our favorite steak restaurant? What do you think happens to the guests in the room?
What you just said, you got hungry, now you're making the shake.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I wasn't hungry at all before you guys started. Honestly, I was fine. It makes them want to go back to the room right away and taste test the stuff they know they're going to get to taste test. It creates a sense of urgency and expectation. And it's much more powerful to talk about how much you love something than how much you know about something. The knowledge part doesn't move the needle. The more you talk about you're loving the food, the more they want to join you in your product experience. And you're in complete control of this. And that's why when we do two of these kind of testimonials at the very beginning, you kind of set the tone for the entire launch party that we're going to talk about things that we love. This is going to be experiential. This isn't going to be a biology class. Now, the last verb is I am. The I am verb is one that's usually missing from a product testimonial. And that simply is, how is your life different in one specific area because of your product experience? Either sorry?
I just wanted to interject before you got too far into the next topic. So my takeaway from that is maybe we shouldn't necessarily talk about the ionics and how much, it goes on, because you're not going to sample that necessarily.
I thought that same thing, Marla.
You're going to sample.
No.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter?
It doesn't matter. No, it doesn't matter. No.
Okay.
No, it doesn't matter. It's actually, they get excited about superfoods. It doesn't have to be specific.
All right.
So we don't have to give, like, this has adaptogens. It's got properties
Nope.
that
Nope. Nope.
Happy juice.
If you tell them how you love it, how it fits into your life, that's all they want to know.
Okay. That makes it so much easier.
Yeah.
It really
Well,
does.
honestly, most people don't know what you're talking about. They just don't want to say it because it makes them look stupid. But I hear things at launch parties, and I know half the room doesn't have a clue what they're talking about. And they're nodding as if they don't look like an idiot, but they actually are a little pissed off because you're talking to them, not to them. You're kind of talking at them. But if you just talk about the experience, you don't lose anybody. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the I am, like for me, last year my wife bought me a Goldwing for my birthday, and I drove the living daylights out of it. We probably did 25,000 miles last year on the motorcycle. And I did 14,000 all over North America in 60 days. I went on this motorcycle journey like I was a 19-year-old. Loved it. Had a fantastic time. Now, while I was in Texas this last winter, I met a guy in his late 60s who drove from Texas all the way through Mexico, all the way to Guatemala on his own. And I went, wow, that sounds dangerous. He says, nope, the only dangerous part is right here at the border with Texas. The rest of it, you're fine. I said, oh, now I want to go do it. So things that you're experiencing for the first time or the first time in a long time. Can you, any of you think of some things that you're experiencing new because of your product experience?
Yeah, the desire to actually do stuff. I mean, that like I have energy now to actually go. Whereas before I was kind of more like sedentary and, didn't really have the energy to go and want to do anything fun.
And people wonder why people don't stay active, but if you feel like you've been given blood all day and you're anemic by the end of the day, there's nothing left to give.
Yeah.
And that's where the superfoods come in. They actually give us the juice to go do something.
Yeah, I didn't exercise for the first 6 months that I used the products. And then I started exercising.
We had one gal tell us that her answer for the I am was elk hunting. I said, well, you're going to have to unpack that one for me. What are you talking about? She said, well, I grew up in the country with my husband. We were neighbors, and we dated as teenagers. And that's one of the things we did to go dating. We'd go hunting together. And that's what we did as a young couple. We went hunting together. And then we had 3 kids, and I put on a whack of weight, and I lost my health. And I haven't hunted with my husband in over 10 years. But this year, isogenics have given me my youth back. And I feel like a girl in pigtails going off hunting with her boyfriend. And we're not boyfriend and girlfriend anymore. We've been married for 15 years. But isogenics gave me that back. We've got a babysitter. We've got it booked. We're going hunting for 2 days together. I feel like a girl again. Now you'll see that each of these verbs creates an emotional hook for someone to get attached to. And it might be the feeling. They'll recognize that they feel the same way you do. It might be the product you say you love. They hear your description and would love to love a food as much as you're loving it. Or it might be the I am. You're getting to enjoy something that right now is beyond their reach. But one of those 3 things wants them to hear more, wants them to experience more, and that's why it works. Now, we do 2 of these back to back. So essentially, at the front of the party, we set out 6 different hooks to see who of the guests wants more. So that's the first layer of the party, 2 back-to-back product testimonials. Then right after that, we do an inspirational product video. Now this means not are you toxic. 1, it's too long, and 2 is too scary. These are just inspirational videos. And kind of our go-to videos when it comes to something like this is all of the IsaBody challenge videos that are on YouTube. If you go to YouTube and type in IsaBody finalist or IsaBody challenge, there are over 50 videos there that tell people's individual stories. But in order to have that moniker on their YouTube video, they have to be under 3 minutes, they have to be compliant, and they have to be inspirational. So based upon who you know you're inviting, you can find another video to kind of fortify with a 3rd story in the video format. Now, have any of you ever looked at all of those videos on YouTube before?
No.
No.
No?
I've seen some on the If you get on Isagenic's channel, they have tons of the
Yes.
body ones and some of the other really products and all that good stuff.
Our favorite of all of these is one from almost 3 years ago now, the Kelly Ann Zander video. Zander. Kelly Ann Zander. Hers is every working mom's story. She works full time. She's got 2 kids. She's trying to stay in shape. She's even running marathons. Can't get there. And Isagenix gives her health back. It's a great little 3-minute video if you just Google Kelly Ann Zander. Zander. Have any of you ever seen hers before?
Mm-mm.
No.
No?
No.
Very
She's
good.
in one of the magazines, right?
Yes, she was. Yes, she was.
I friended her on Facebook.
Yeah, she's a mentee of mine. Very good.
Okay.
Very good lady. So 2 product testimonials, then an inspirational product video. The third layer down is something we call a silly success story. Now, by silly, I mean we don't want to come across like we're some kind of a business magnet here. We want to kind of illustrate that, you can actively build your business and earn some great referral money, and you don't necessarily know even how much you're earning. You could be surprised on a Monday by what the total is. And the sillier and more self-deprecating, the better, because most people think, wow, this is difficult. I probably don't have enough experience to do this. You want to illustrate how you don't need that much understanding or experience to actually start earning some referral bonuses. Now, do any of you have a story where you're maybe kind of surprised by what that Monday email told you?
Yeah.
Can you tell your story?
Yeah, with 11 years in the education field with a master's degree, I earned more in one pay than I did in a month.
Wow. Wow. That must have been bone chilling.
It was, yeah. And then the next week I earned another bonus. So I was elated.
That's tremendous.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody else with any of those surprise videos surprise emails you've ever got?
I'd like to say yes, but I think I'm not quite to the surprise yet. I'm working on it.
You will.
It's coming. I can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna happen for you.
Yeah.
I didn't get an email, but I was actually just sharing with Cindy the other day that I just said, I was so shocked. I said, I had a voicemail from Adam Packard congratulating me on making director. And so I said, he said, congratulations. And then he said, hey, give me a call back, we'll have a chat. And I just kind of went, I said to her, it just was kind of, I don't know, like I was a little shell shocked about it. And then I said, I thought that was kind of, but I'm sure he calls everybody. And Cindy laughed and goes, he doesn't call everybody. And if he asks you to call him back, you need to call him back. And so I just thought just the fact that there were so many people in this company and that he took the time to call and congratulate me.
That's a big deal, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a big deal. It just shows how caring the company, is, and the people that work for the company. That, here I am way down here on the bottom, and somebody took the time to, other day to give me a voicemail. Wish I would have.
One of the reasons Adam does that is that he used to be in the field in another company, and he knows what it means to receive that from somebody.
Yes, I actually met him at Cindy's Super Saturday, and I remember his story. He was talking about coming from a different company. So it made a big difference that day. I smiled a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
I met him first in Dallas last year, and we were at a Super Saturday that was going really long and going really slow, and we were at the end, and it was dying. Like people en masse were going to the bathroom just to get out of the room. And he texted me and said, you're on before me. Any chance you can bring up the energy in the room? And I texted back, don't worry, I got this.
I bet.
And so I got them all going, and then afterwards he said, well, I didn't mean that much. Now I got to follow you.
That's awesome.
But I really like him. He's actually probably my favorite regional sales director we've ever had.
Really? Yeah, he's
Yeah.
very genuine and just very warm and, you know, easy to talk to.
Yeah, I like him a lot. I like him a lot. Absolutely. You know, I was in Atlanta and I was telling a silly success story and I kind of oversold the story. There's 100 people in the room and I told about this dumb couple from Alabama. They were so dumb, they thought that their Isagenix Visa card was a gift card. So they spent the money and they literally threw their card in the garbage. And everybody roared in the room until they yelled out, yeah, that was us, PK. We're sitting back here. Didn't you see us? And I turned 14 shades of red.
Yeah.
And Mike says, oh, we tell it exactly the same way. Don't change a word. We tell that story about ourselves all the time. Really? He says, oh, yeah, we didn't have a clue what we're doing. And we still made money. That's the whole story.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite ones recently was from Chris Harder, a gal who'd been building for a while and never checked or spent any of her Isagenix money. It was just on her card. And her husband one day said, you know what? I don't want that stuff messing up with the rest of our accounts. I want you to go to town and set up a banking account just for you in this business. I don't want it messed up with everything else. And she said, okay, honey, I will. So she goes to town, sets up the account, and says to the bank guy, says, well, put this in my account. He says, well, how much is on it? She says, I don't know. I've never checked it. He says, you don't know how much you've earned? He says, no, that's been kind of the fun of it. I've never spent any of it. Oh, so you don't know how much you're depositing? No, just transfer it over. Here's the PIN. Guess how much was on the card?
10,000.
Pretty close, 55,000.
Oh.
She laughed the whole way home at her husband. Yeah, honey, I'll just put that in my business account so it doesn't mess up any of the rest of our accounts. Oh, yeah, I'm the only signing on it. That's a good idea, honey. I'm so glad I'm such a submissive wife. Wow, way to go. Now, the reason we do that is I would never let an Isagenix millionaire tell their story at a launch party. For one, no one's going to believe them. No one believes you've made $1 million with network marketing. Sorry, they don't. So let's not make them question whether the product works because I think we're lying about something else. We want to stay at their level. They're just getting started off. Show them how simple some of these referral bonuses are. Show them how simply, without a lot of experience, they could actually be earning some money. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Now, right below that, we would show an inspirational opportunity video. Now, our two favorites for opportunity videos that are inspirational are that startyourlife.com video. If you go to startyourlife.com, there's like a little movie montage of different families in the START group and how their lives have changed because of Isagenix. Have any of you seen that one before?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's probably one of my favorite videos on all of Isagenix. I love it. I wish they had one for old farts like me because my kids are in the START group, so I'm obviously not in it. The other one is the Isagenix difference. Have you seen the Isagenix difference before?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We like that one specifically because of the illustration of Dr. Rick Lee, also a mentee of mine. He shares that he's a practicing chiropractor and an Isagenix millionaire. So we aren't showing people they're going to have to choose to leave their career or their calling or the business that they've created. That this is an and situation, not an either or situation. One of those videos is 3 minutes, the other is 6 minutes, right in that sweet spot of what we're looking for launch party videos. The next layer down is we would describe the product line from the top down. And we'd use the scripting that we have and show that there's 4 different packs they can choose from using that description of 3 systems, 2 systems, and 1 system, so they have a handle on what a President's Pack, a Pace Setter Pack, and an Introductory Pack means. Now, all that we've just done takes about half an hour to do. So now we're about to not close the room, but move the room into the next segment of the launch party, which is the taste testing. But we want to give very specific instructions now before they start taste testing. So the verbiage is very specific. In fact, we've created a video called Launch Party Closes. Launch Party Closes. And on it, we give you what we'd like you to say when you get to this part of your party. So it sounds like this. Many of you think that if food's good for you, it can't possibly taste great as well. Well, our stuff tastes amazing. You're going to love it. Now, when you decide you want to get started immediately, come back into this room and choose from one of the 3 stations we'll have prepared. And you can choose how you want to join. Here at this station, we'll have enrollment forms. Please get together with the person who brought you to the launch party. They'll go through your best next step going forward, and you'll receive your product in the next 3 to 4 days. Over here, we've got some laptops open live to the internet, and we can actually show you your own online store that's live to about 1 billion people around the world, and it has your name in the address bar right beside Isagenix.com. And then finally over here, for those of you who are a little ticklish about sharing your private information with a third party, we'll connect you via a 3-way call to a customer service professional, and you can give your private information directly to them. So let's test drive these great products, and let's get started. Now pause here for just a second. At this point, at the beginning of the party, we'd like you to put 3 or 4 gift bags at the front of the room that until now you don't make any reference to. But as they're about to go to the next stage, you stop them and say, oh, sorry, I forgot. We have these gift bags at the front. We've only prepared 3 of them. So for the first 3 people who join tonight, you will receive your first 3 are free from me, which means your first 3 days of product experience are in these gift bags. We've got 6 shakes, 3 tubes of Ionics, a couple of bars and some isotolites in each one, and you'll be able to start your product experience tomorrow. You won't have to wait for your shipment to come in. So let's test drive these great products, and let's get started. Now, what do you think happens when you tell them there's a reason for joining sooner by getting the gift bag?
They're running each other down trying to get to them.
Absolutely are. What do you think happens when you give people options for how they can say yes?
They feel comfortable. They're
Yes.
more willing to.
They feel in control, too.
Yeah, there you go, control. They feel in control. But also you've changed what they're thinking about. Instead of thinking yes or no, they're now considering which way do I say yes. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do you have a script for that?
Yes, that's on our video. The video on our YouTube channel called
Okay.
Launch Party Closes.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Launch Party Closes. But do you see the logic behind offering more than one way to join?
Yeah.
Now, the weird thing is I'm the only person in the world that teaches this, but the result is we end up with 100% enrollments. We've had over 40 parties using this model where every single guest enrolls. Now, those that don't join the night of the party, they get a call back within 72 hours because they've left with a single unanswered question. So we call them back and ask them, so what question was it that you needed answered before you get started? So what question was it that you needed answered before you get started? And what we found is you never can predict how it happens, but either directly from the launch party or from the 72-hour callback, everybody enrolls. The record is 9. 9 guests, 9 enrollments. So what do you think of that model as a simple, duplicatable model for people to employ? Does it sound doable?
It sounds very doable and easy.
Easy is very key. A launch party should always end with the conclusion, heck, I could do that.
I have a question.
Sure.
What about that PowerPoint that's on the business website? Do you promote that? I mean, do you think that that's a way to go about a launch party, or is that too informative, in your opinion?
It's not just the informative part, it's the skill set of teaching to a slideshow. The person who put that together doesn't know the difference between a launch party and an opportunity meeting. Because you have to be a public speaker to train to a live show, a slideshow, right?
Right.
That's an opportunity meeting.
Mm-hmm.
A launch party doesn't have a public speaker at it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yes, and I'm wondering, because I work, I'm almost kind of like Becky. Becky's more in the field than I am, but I'm at a chiropractor's office, and we will have wellness meetings, and it seems more informative than emotional. So
Yeah.
I mean, what do you suggest? But I think that his patients might like to hear the other side of it, because we're talking over their heads, I feel. So how would you go about, in that environment, doing a launch party?
Well, that's the problem. The environment kind of dictates the language.
Mm-hmm.
That's the challenge with the public setting like that. Your environment dictates the language. You come to a big hall and there's 100 people in the room, everybody expects a slideshow. Everybody expects a speaker, because why do we all get in this room for it? Where a launch party tends to be 5 or 6 people in a room. It isn't masses of people. It's done on the smaller scale. It's way more intimate. Do you know what I mean?
I do. So I guess we've been having more or less opportunity meetings.
You've been having opportunity meetings because you have a speaker. Well, it's easy to tell if you're having an opportunity meeting. Did anyone talk for more than 3 minutes?
Mm-hmm.
If they did, now they're a public speaker. Well, that's an opportunity meeting.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Our success, yes, and our success rate hasn't been the greatest. So,
Well, opportunity meetings aren't enrolling tools. It sounds awful, but I've been saying this for a while, and people thought I was nuts, but the cities where they have switched to solely doing opportunity meetings and stopped doing launch parties, eventually their opportunity meetings are drying up. Toronto used to have 700 or 800 people at an opportunity meeting, and now they have 300 or 400. And it's because the entire city of Toronto stopped building outside of those big meetings, which means their enrolling numbers went in the toilet. It's not an enrolling tool. Sorry. It's not. Why? Because it doesn't strike any emotional chords. It's completely informational.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Exactly.
It would. I'm not trying to be coarse here, but imagine if you went out on a date, and at the end of the date, this nerd with glasses and a slide rule says, "Okay, so I picked you up for dinner. I brought you roses. I paid for dinner. I was very complimentary all day. Check, 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 check. Yes, you owe me a kiss now." You'd go, "Wow, are you weird? We're never doing this again."
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because those facts don't make me emotionally moved to kiss you.
Mm-hmm.
Where sparks flew when I saw you, we held hands, and wow, King couldn't keep our hands off each other during the dinner. Of course you're getting a kiss. Why? Because emotionally the support was there for that action. Information doesn't necessarily move the person to make the emotional decision to invest in their health at such an extreme way.
Mm-hmm.
Can you see that?
Yes, that makes complete sense.
It's why Jill Birth's video has enrolled way more people than anything Isagenix has ever produced. Why? Because it's someone's story that makes you weep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what Isagenix information is in that video? None. Not a bit. She doesn't explain the superfoods. Yet it tips the scale for so many people to launch into the investment of their health. Why? Because it's an emotionally driving video, and it tips the scale so that, yeah, I want to try. I want to try. You know, she's willing to try one more time. I'm going to try one more time. You see the difference?
I do.
I know this is a new way to think about communicating, because honestly, Isagenix does a lot of talk about data dumping. But I know 8 years doing this, data dumping doesn't move the needle. Doesn't. So do you think you'd be willing to test drive a simpler model like that?
For sure.
Now, next week, we'll take that model and we'll even shrink it more, and we'll introduce you to the idea of building with parties, not meetings. And this is even more divergent from what we've done today, but it really works to have parties where there's maybe a 10-minute presentation, and the rest of it is just a high, warm energy party where people do taste testing and they want to join because they're having a good time. But we'll get to that next week, okay?
Okay.
Sounds good.
Now, let's be clear. I don't teach you any theories. I have only taught you this because someone's already made a lot of money doing it, okay?
Yep.
You're not a guinea pig here.
Gotcha.
Well, have an amazing week, folks, and we'll catch up next week and do the next 5 different types of launch parties.
Thank you.
All right. Thank
Have
you.
a great week.
You
Thank
too.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.